We're out here at Third Hand's archery range, just working on setting targets. I believe it'll come in useful to ranges and new people that are going to work at the range to help them understand some of the problems that I've seen in the years that I've set range on my own personal range. I'm showing you a couple different sets of rebar that they use to set targets. This is a smooth, newer style. This works. This is the best you can use right now. It works really well. The old rebar, the problem with what we'd have would be, as you get into the targets, anybody that would hit the leg and put a ding in that conduit on the leg of the target, this would work like a jack and get constantly pushed up into the target to a point you couldn't grab the back end of it. So if you use smooth rebar, it's always easier to get back out of the target. It can actually remove that dimple that's in that conduit. Another useful tool is a multi-tool I like to wear on my side while I'm working on the range. It's just pliers that I can actually pull the rebar out of the target so it doesn't get jammed into the legs. I also use it to tap the legs of the target to remove any dirt and debris that would be in them. We'll get into how to store a target. Storing the targets on their back like this is much better than trying to stand them up on their legs. They'll shift, they'll fall, they'll break. And to remove the headgear is an important part of that process. When you're going out to set a target, to keep the headgear in one hand if you had to carry it up by yourself. These targets haven't been glued together or anything. They'll shift apart. The design of the target is, like on the back, when it's upside down, you can handle this from the back leg and it won't come apart. So when you store it, you can store it like this. Maybe keep the headgear right up on top of the target. And always using deer or anything like that, remove the horns so they don't get broken off. Generally, you get a new guy to come out to your range, and this would be standing up next to your building. He'd grab the head and the tail and it'd windmill into 3 pieces, and now you got a broken ear and the back end's over here. They're not made to be handled like that. So if you take your target, carefully pick it up by the core section, it'll always stay together. And if you set it on your shoulder, put an arm around it, you can actually grab the headgear, your hammer, and your rebar. I'm going to use a smooth rebar since I showed you about that. And you can walk it to wherever on your range you need to be. So in order to show you how to set this target, we'll carefully set the headgear down. We'll set our target, and we're not just lining up our rebar with the target here. I suggest first piece of rebar forward. The weight of the target is still on this front leg, and since we're on quite a hill, it'll appear as it's straight in the ground. Nice firm ground. Sometimes I could go to even a longer piece if the ground was soft, but just so I think I probably have 7, 8 inches, 6, 7 inches, probably all you need out of the ground. I'll set the target onto the conduit. This back end is almost off the ground. That's what I'd like to have, because if it's onto the ground too much, the back will shift and the target will want to pop apart like that. Most of that weight's on that front leg. It'll stay real sturdy. Now I'll take shooting lane. What I'll do is I'll aim the target so the kill zone's correctly lined with that area. Because when you're looking at a target, you'd like the arrows to strike the target coming in from the shooting lane. If you shot a target this way, hard quarter it, it's like chopping wood. You'll take pieces out of your target and it will prematurely destroy your target, and also other areas like even the locks and things like that. And the kill zones are designed to be shot straight on. So having said all that, the front leg is set up. I'm going to line it down the shooting lane, and now I'm going to take a look at the angle that this rear conduit needs, or the rear conduit is, and what I'll do is I'll drive this rebar in. I'm looking at that angle. I'll move the target out of the way. And I'll drive the rear stake in the ground, roughly the same distance. I'll swing the target close, shift it apart, set the rear leg on, set the target. You can put a little more weight on the back. This will be a sturdy target. This shouldn't shift. The back leg, I didn't set it all the way down to the dirt. Set the head. This target here will stand very well for as long as you want to leave your target set. I noticed that it's standing directly straight up and down. That's important. If it's not leaning or set the way you'd want it, adjust it, because I believe you should do a professional job, and the people shooting your range would enjoy watching that the range crew did their job proficiently. Another thing with our targets, after a while your targets will dry. We've come out with a material to paint the part of the target that is that the paint's worn off, or if it's flaked off and you're getting down to the raw foam. We use a sealant type. It actually has fibers in it, and what it'll do is it'll help hold the paint on your target. You want to wait to paint your target until the waxy finish is gone, or so the paint would stick. If it's waxy, the paint won't stick, and it's kind of common sense. The paint that we use to paint these targets is always an exterior grade flat latex is what I prefer. It gives the target a nice soft look, no shine, and that's about it for your paint. But again, on the dried areas where the paint is gone, we want to coat that with something, and you can pick that up from 3D Country. It's one of our Target Master supplies. And what we mean by professional, here's a target that's very dry rotted, weathered. This target can be coated with that special coating, and then it'll be painted, and this will look much better and more professional. As you see behind us, if the cameras can reach all that, this range was painted 2 years ago, and it looks brilliant instead of the dull, flat, dead looking like this. And this will soak up a lot of water and cause more problems. Once you paint them, that paint should stay on those targets for longer than the life of the target, actually.